How's it going, everyone? Scott MacKay here from 3D Graphics, MacKay Fine Art, bringing you a how-to on how to use Pocket Graphics. What we're going to do today, we're going to do these pair of Vans shoes. This one I've already taped and I painted with a silver base color from Createx Colors. It's a fine silver, or aluminum fine is what it's called. And it's all dried and ready to go. And we're going to use the Rivet Master. Maybe we'll throw a little bit of the Metal Master in here as well. And we'll just bring them, we'll put them all out on the table. You know, we'll see what we end up maybe using rips and tears. Just play it by ear a little bit. I'm going to go from there. So, got the shoes ready, and I really love this technique. It's always worked out great for doing rivets. That's kind of the best part about the usefulness of these templates. Kind of like here in the how-to for doing this type of rivet metal panel. The effect is so huge, it works super easy, and for big jobs and small. I've used this on trucks, I've used this on motorcycles, I've used it on big canvases, murals. So the whole old saying, no job too big, too small, yeah, these come in handy for everything. So what I'm going to do to make it simple, I'm going to pick one size of the stencil. I'm going to use the quarter inch circle, and that's what I'm going to do my main ones with. And to make it easier, here's a little pro tip. Take a little tape and just block out the pieces you don't want, so you don't get any overspray of the patterns. Because, paint, as you know, when you do it a lot, it goes wherever it really wants to go. So we want to minimize that as much as possible. So we're just going to go in, and I use a little bit of masking tape. I just blocked off the larger holes, the smaller ones. And I only do one side because it's nice. The tape here, when you're on a flat surface, you can actually push down, it'll stick. That's kind of a little pro tip right there to hold in place for you. So yep, let's stick it down, and it stays. Alright, so I'm just going to put one off to the side. I'm going to do a shoe here. So what I have for color, I have my Iwata Neo. These are available at most stores, anywhere Iwata is sold, available for retail as well. So I just have Createx Illustration Black. This is standard 50-51 Illustration Black with a little bit of their reducer. I maybe put about, I think I put about 5% in here. And I always check it, make sure it's spraying nice. I get little nice lines out of it. Nice even spray. That's what I'm looking for. You want to hear, the paint should come through with a nice sound. It shouldn't come through gravelly. If it's coming through gravelly, it's probably too thick, your air pressure might be a little too low. For this one, I'm running, I paint technically a little higher than most. I'm running around 35 PSI. With these, you can run them really low, you can run them high depending on the paint and how you like to paint. So just make sure it's all working for you. Okay, so with this brush here, I have black. For purposes here, I'm going to make it easy on myself and video timing. We're going to have two airbrushes, and I have a little quick disconnect here so I can switch easier. My other brush is the Iwata Eclipse. This is a little bit more an upgrade from the Neo. Slightly different size nozzle, a little construction is a little bit different. This is kind of my go-to workhorse for everything I do, from t-shirts, automotive, to wall murals. These can handle solvents really well. And this is, like I said, this is the workhorse. This one I have white in here. I'm going to use this for some highlights. And the white I'm using here is Createx Illustration Opaque White. The opaque white's nice and strong, so it should show up really nicely. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this look a little beat up. I'm going to go around the edges, and I'm just going to highlight, kind of darken the edges a little bit so they look Okay. Just a little bit. I can do more as I go. I want to make it look like there's, like the toe plate is like almost like a steel toe. So I'm going to take a little piece of tape here, and I'm just going to do this. I'm going to work it around. Just give it a little fold and a bend, a little outside pressure. Just roll it on. Okay. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with this. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to spray on the tape. Here's another little pro tip for you. Keep the overspray down. Put the tape down. Fold it up like this. Okay. What that folding up does is when the overspray paint, paint wants to go down and spread out when the air hits it. So the overspray, what this will do is it'll turn it up instead of casting it out here and getting where you don't want it. So we do that quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to take, this is my black with the Neo. I'm just going to slowly, I'm going to paint on the tape, okay? So what I'm doing, I'm painting the majority of it on the tape. Let the overspray get to the edge. And then I'm painting. Okay, see, that makes a nice little line. If you have some freehand control and you don't want to rely on the tape as much, you can soften that edge up and just kind of come across like this and almost give it a little bit of an extra bevel there. Okay, a little bit of extra shading. So here comes the fun part. We're going to make some rivets. We're going to do 3. We'll do 1, 2, 3. So you see how easy this is when I do it. We're going to do the first one right in the middle. Okay, you watch this happen. That's the best part about this. So a rivet has a shadow because light's top down. We always do top down light source. I'm going to hold it in place. I'm going to do like a semicircle. I'm going to shade the bottom. Alright, just like that. Just shade the bottom and pull it out. See that? So that's inside the stencil. So that's the negative. That's the hole. And put the positive, positively covering that rivet I just made. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to go above it. I'm going to spray the top side. Notice again, I'm spraying on the stencil. I'm not spraying outside it. I'm letting the overspray cast off it. And what that's going to do, that's going to make it, the shadow go the opposite way, and it's going to look like the rivet's punched in. See how that works? And I haven't even added white yet. The way I usually do it, I usually do all my rivets with one color, especially if you're one airbrush, it's much easier. So let's do it again. Let's put the next one here. There's another one, a little semicircle. Between, blow off your stencils a little bit, that'll help dry the paint. You don't want to keep putting wet paint down, it'll eventually splatter. There's another one. And we'll do a third one. Look at that. Look like nice little rivets. 3-dimensional, looks like you can almost pull them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my white, which is in my other gun. So if you have only one airbrush, this one you'd clean out, go to the black, wipe that out, and then you'd switch off to the white. So now what I'm going to do is I put the stencil back on, and this a little higher with this gun. So I'm going to drop it down a little bit. I'm going to run a highlight. Might not see too well on camera, but it's just an added little highlight. Kind of separates it from the gray. And then I do the same thing I did with the shadow, which we did up here. I'm going to rotate that like this. And I'm going to do the bottom. And like I said, it just adds a little bit of extra light sourcing. You could go in freehand too and just add a little hot spot right there in the center of that rivet. I'm just going to pull a single stroke, let it build. See that? Watch this one right here. This one will be really good. It'll really show fast. You see what that does? That just really gives it a nice look. And it looks three-dimensional. So by keeping your light source figured top down, so the rivet's rounded, light comes down, hits it on the top, so it's got that bright spot. Because the rivet's been punched into the metal's been forced in, that edge of the metal picks up that highlight, and the same for the shadow. Because light's coming across, it's kind of skipping over that warp, that bend, creating the shadow there, so it looks punched in. So I'm going to do another row. Let's do this. We'll make it look like it's split in half. Like this. Just to be safe, I'm going to put a little extra piece of tape there. For these long panels, you need tape. For short ones, and I'll show you in a little bit, we're going to just add to it by using this. And we'll add some metal effects. Again, that pro tip, if you want to keep the paint from overspraying, just fold it up. And that's going to let the overspray go that way. Switching back to my black. I'm going to create that there. Then I'm going to create another line. I'm just going to use my Rivet Master to just go and do another line. Show you how that works. It's going to go here. Now we have a straight edge. I'm going to do one. I'm not going to go edge of the stencil. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go all the way to the edge because this has a little tattered edge. And we'll show you what to do with that. See that nice little, it looks like the edge of it's been broken off or chipped. Okay, you can double a line if you want and have it look like it's your little edge. And there you go. Now it looks like it's been split in half. Now it's getting darker on this side, so let's go through and let's do another one. Let's do this one a little higher. And we'll go right to the edge. And we'll be careful. I'm going to move the stencil so I didn't go all the way to the edge. I'm going to work my way down. And see? Now it's paneled out. And if I need to make it crisper, I can use the right angle and just sharpen that out. And there we go. Now we have the whole front of the shoe is all riveted. And what we'll do is we'll bring a smaller set of rivets down. And then we'll add some metal effects to it. So I'm just moving my tape. I'm just going to go right down the line. So I'm going to make it look like this. This side is riveted on top of that. So we're just going to go right down the line like this. I'm going to go here. Sometimes it's easier, just go right down the line. In one motion. Try to keep your spacing even. Done. Then we'll go to the positive, do a little shadow. It looks all riveted. You know, and then like I said, we can go in and make things darker. You can darken these edges with tape, or you can use a stencil. And I'll show you. I'm going to pull the tape off this whole area. I'm just going to go across this, like that. Now I have the whole edge, and I can darken some stuff up. I can take this edge, and I can move this around and add some little holes. You know, I can take this edge from this one, and really just make this a really hard edge and make it look, you know, distressed. Now the other type of rivet you can do, I'm going to go and highlight these afterwards, is you can make the rivet look punched in even more by So we went with the 1/4 inch. So if you go to the 3/8 and put it right in the center, see that? You can make that shadow harder. And it really looks like it's punched in, almost like recessed. Go up and do them all the same. We'll keep continuity. Then I'll go in and do the white. The white's always what makes it. I'll switch the guns. I'm going to go in. Yeah, we'll go in like this. We're going to use it. Highlight there. You don't really see it too much on this, so we're just going to go in and do the bright highlights right in the rivets. This is just a little pull stroke. I'm keeping the brush steady. You can actually use your pinky to kind of get your bearings on it. And I'm just pulling the trigger back till I make the highlight, and then I rock it forward. I can go in, and I can crisp up that upper edge if I want. Yeah, the other thing we can do is we can go in like this, and you can highlight off those edges and make the panels a little brighter. And do all sorts of tricks like that. Pretty simple, really fun project. Now what I typically do, go through, let's make them look like they're screwed in. So I'm going to use the Metal Master here, and we'll make them like a Phillips bit. With the black, goes right in. Just try to keep it centered. You can see through it enough. Sometimes if you need, you can put a little mark there with the airbrush first and kind of get your bearings. Now it looks like it's screwed together. I'm going to go through and do the rest, and we'll call this done. We'll go do some distressing. Oh, let me go back to this one. Actually, we're going to go here. Let's add... Let's talk about this little tattered edge here. Okay, so what I did, I put it up, got this edge. It needs a little bit more lift, so if you want more lift, you make it darker. So I'm going to add it again. I'm going to maybe spray a little. And then what I'm going to do is we're getting really close to the airbrush. I'm going to pull back on the trigger just a little bit so I get a line. And I'm going to kind of give it a little shake. This is where if you're shaky, it comes in handy. Okay, and just make the edge look a little rough. And if you want, you can do like mineral staining, like it's been, like it's a little more distressed, and you can have things like running out of it. These are soft dagger strokes. We can do these all around. We can come around and really kind of push that in, and we can do some, almost look like it's a rusty shoe. And you could throw some browns and some other colors here if you want, or some blue tones, and really have fun with it. I can kind of go in. I'm going to re-hit this edge and give it a little angle. See that? Just using the template smart, knowing where I'm spraying, and just adding that chamfered edge. Makes it look like it's a metal plate. Really simple to do. Just take your time, and these templates bend nice. They snap right back into shape. Okay? Then you can clean them off and go from there. You can just have fun with it. If you want, we can do let's do a big hole, like there's a hole in it. And use this larger one. And use a 1/2 inch hole. If you're not too confident with your freehand control, then definitely tape these things off. I'm going to go in, and I'm going to do a solid black hole here. Okay, and then I'm going to freehand it, and then I'm going to make it look like it's been around and kind of water running out of it, and it's been staining. And And then I'm going to run a little highlight around that with the positive. Really just have fun with it. Play around. Add some distressing. If you want, we can take these little edges here. When we do that, we're going to add these little like spot welds. So I'm going to tape off the edge so I don't get this tattered edge here or the kind of smoky curve. So now I just have this right angle. You can tape off more if you need to. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to make sure I'm lined up. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to do all the little holes like that. Just play around with the whole shoe, have some fun with it, distress it, bring in some texture effects, do some fun stuff like that. And that's it. Darken it up, make some highlights, run around with it. It's a cool little quick tip on using the PocketGraFX Rivet Master and the Metal Master in conjunction with each other. Hope you enjoyed it. And that wraps up the shoe. Now comes to the best part, the unmasking. Said you can do as many rivets as you want, put as much distressing as you want. You can even show you this trick if you want to do a little extra. If you pull back on the trigger, that puts paint in the needle, and then you push, it'll spit paint at it. Pull back, push. Just adds a little bit of extra distressing. And you don't want to pull back trigger and go, because that's how you get that big splotch like I did there. But which is fine, because I'm just going to work that in. The great artist once said, happy little mistakes. We'll add some, look, we'll add some distressing to it. Make that edge look all torn up. Like it's a worn out shoe. Industrial sheet metal pair of Vans. Now comes the best part, the unmasking. Everything looks better once it's unmasked and done. So you can see those nice and clean. I'm going to pull the tag off here. And here we go. Here's the finished results. Started from here. We went to here in a matter of minutes. I'm going to do this one a little bit different on another video. Maybe change it up a little bit, add some different effects. Hope you enjoyed the technique on using PocketGraFX Rivet Master and the Metal Master. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for another video. Have a great one. Thanks a lot.